His name was Ptolemy, which was perhaps ambitious for a parrot, but he had grown into it. He was a 12-year-old African gray who had been with Isadora and Felix Marchetti since Felix's bachelor days, which meant he had witnessed 2 apartments, 1 house move, a marriage, and now, most recently, the arrival of their son Otto, who was 7 weeks old and had the lungs of someone determined to make an impression. Ptolemy had adjusted to Otto with the adaptability of a bird who had seen everything and was not easily impressed. He had looked at Otto from his perch with the expression African greys use for things they are cataloging. He had added the sound of Otto crying to his repertoire within the first week, which Isadora had found either charming or alarming depending on the time of day. He had resumed his normal schedule, talking at length from 6 in the morning until 9, napping, talking from noon until 2, napping commentary from 4 until dark. Silence. On the night of February the 3rd, at 3:17 in the morning, Ptolemy said, "Help." He had the word in his vocabulary. He had acquired it from Felix, who used it frequently while assembling furniture. It was not a word Ptolemy deployed with any regularity or with any particular accuracy. It appeared in his normal speech rotation, mixed with other acquired phrases. What was different at 3:17 was the tone. Isadora woke without knowing why she had woken. She was sitting upright before she had identified the sound. The tone was not Ptolemy's standard performance tone. It was directed. A single word repeated once. Help. Then silence. She went to the nursery. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Otto was in his crib. He was not crying. He was not making any sound, which was wrong. Wrong in the way that absence of sound from a 7-week-old at 3 in the morning is wrong, which is immediately and completely. His color was off. She picked him up, and the weight was wrong. Too still. She said his name. He responded sluggishly. She called 911 while she was already moving toward the front door. Sepsis. Early-stage neonatal sepsis from a Group B streptococcus infection. The ER attending said, "You got here in time." She said this clearly and specifically. She said, "The early presentation window is very narrow." She said, "Another hour? 2 hours." She stopped. She said, "You got here in time." Felix asked what had made Isadora check on Otto. She told him about Ptolemy. Felix sat with that for a moment. He said, "He's never done that before." She said, "I know." The attending, overhearing this, looked up from her tablet. She said, "African greys are documented to respond to changes in the air chemistry of a space, pheromone changes associated with metabolic stress." She said, "There's research on this." She said, "Not conclusive." She said it in a tone that suggested she considered it real regardless of the conclusion status. Has your pet ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Otto came home on day 4. Ptolemy looked at him from his perch for a long moment. Then he said, "Good." He said it in Felix's tone, the one Felix used when things resolved the way they should. Then he went back to his afternoon schedule. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Isadora has read the research on African greys and chemical detection. She has read the research on neonatal sepsis and the compounds it produces in the early metabolic phase. She has not found a clean bridge between them. She has found enough of a bridge that she trusts it without needing the clean version. What she trusts most is this. A 12-year-old bird said a word at 3 in the morning in a voice she had never heard from him before. And she sat up and she went. And her son came home on day 4. The next story involves a cockatiel who began behaving unusually around one specific corner of the baby's room, and what the electrician found in the wall there.